And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to proceed with another panel discussion. And in this round of panel discussion, we would like to welcome our moderator, Mr. Chong Managing Director of Aries Engineering Consultants. And also together with him, we have our panelists, Mr. Neil Fu, Group Strategist of NCT Group, Mr. Hairol'azaha Abdul Samad, General Manager for Smart and Innovative Services at TM1. And also we have Professor in Senior Technologies, Dr. Tan Chee Fai, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Infrastructure University, Kuala Lumpur, to share their perspectives on 5G plus IoT, supercharging smart manufacturing for a connected tomorrow. So here, let's welcome our moderator and the panelists. Welcome, gentlemen. And right here, over to you, Engineer Chong.
Good morning, everyone. So we will start a new session for supercharging smart manufacturing for connected tomorrow. So I'm happy to introduce our panelists today. We have Mr. Neil Fu from NCT, Mr. Hairo from TM1, and our Professor Tan from University. So we'll start with a short presentation from Mr. Neil.
Okay.
Over to you, Mr. Neil.
Thank you, Chong. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will take about 10 minutes to share a so-called a case study rather than a sales pitch. Because today with this big conference by ACCCIM is AI Unplugged. So we have been hearing so many concept theories and also about future. So being the advisors and the chief strategists of NCT group of company in which that we have very fantastic, the first Malaysia kind of by law, Malaysia first managed industrial park, that they have so many AIs and also the smart elements. This would be talking about our now and future of Malaysia, in which that you may involve in this industrial park somehow or other, that we are talking about how to use AI to manage an asset. Okay, so with this, if you look at this scenery, is a very big industrial park, so-called big, that is situated at KLIA, just behind Mitsui outlets, just right at the KLIA location. And this project is very much driven by Invest Selangor and also the state of Selangor as one of the 6 Idris projects, means that integrated development of South Selangor. All right, so this is a bit of NCT background, that we have about 14 projects in Malaysia, from Peninsula to Sabah, based on residential, condominium, landed properties, and also hotels. But now NCT is venturing into industrial park. Not only with that, but it's the first smart industrial park and then the first managed industrial park, in which they are going to share about all these important elements as a reference of the industrial park evolution in Malaysia. And these are some of the slides of all these projects, very much from Kedah, Penang, Perak, Selangor, Melaka, and even Sabah. So the other very significant project, it is in Genting. If you look at on your right-hand side there, is the highest altitude of these condominiums come hotels that would be 3,000 rooms. And of course, the other significance of NCT is about the White Knight position. What is White Knight? That NCT have rescued a few important abundant projects to become a very value these property development assets, in which that this group always create value. It's just like today, we are going to talk about how we create value by AI, how we create value by a smart solution, and also for the management system. And this is, I said, this is the highest altitude at Genting Highland, the highest peak that NCT have won a few Malaysia Book of Records, the highest altitude of glass house, the highest altitude of banquet room, and also the glass leaf, and highest at the altitude. And these are the four, and also the link bridge. So having said that, it's not like, you want to achieve the most, the first, but it carries the value that are very much recognized by all these value creation. So this is the front page, the frontage of this industrial park, in which that is 735 acres, divided into 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, by 235 acres of each of the phase. But we started with the phase 1 just in April 7, that with the groundbreaking by Menteri Besar, and also become one of the very 6 projects, like together with Sepangokos, our friend here, Pak Gan, this is a resort project, but ours is very much on the industrial park that we're going to develop as the Selangor Smart Managed E&E Hub. So Selangor, the first one, by Invest Selangor, very much driven by the government as a smart innovation park, and also in terms of smart as Industry 4.0. We have been hearing a lot about Industry 4.0. Is it a gimmick, a concept, a theories that we have been advocating for many years? But in fact, later we're going to have a program, a diagram to show that what is really is the Industry 4.0. And also this is the first MIP, Managed Industrial Park, planned by Plan Malaysia, that we have to fulfill all the infrastructure, and we're going to make it as the first E&E hub of Selangor. As you know that we have about 40 over years this so-called Asia Silicon Valley in Penang, Bayan Lepas, but this one is going to be some significant for Selangor states. So one of the reasons that to invest in this industrial park is about these 6 elements, but in which that today, as said, it's not a sales pitch, but it's a case study. We are talking about the first smart industrial park and the first 5G support industrial park support by this TM1. That's why we have our colleague here, or our strategic partner, Encik Hairol, going to talk about how TM help us in terms of applying AI, applying smart in our industrial park. Also, of course, about the 5G, and this is a location of NCT, the NSIP in KLIA, and this is all about the logistic, right? So I will go through very fast. I leave more for our discussion, on our interaction here. And this is a first gated and guarded industrial park, but really with the managed. Normally, you say gated and guarded is like you fence up the seat, maybe the most you have a security guard, but inside we're going to have so many new elements and to be managed. And this is the proof of the first MIP certified by as an industrial park. So we have security, we have infrastructure, we have utilities, right? Especially utilities, this is a very serious thing. When you are talking with the Semicon E&E in Malaysia, they are the expert. We have to deal with the electricity, we have to deal with the water treatment, the wastewater treatment, and also about the 5G, the gas, the waste management. So that is so-called managed industrial park, that we add on value with that, but we need to manage it, not only by human being, physically, but we need to manage by the smart solution. That's why we are working with TM, and also we have Prof Tan today, that he is the Industrial 4.0 this system provider. He also going to share with us and even comments about this industrial park, what we can do it together, really to AI unplugged in the park. So of course, you are talking about central labor quarters. This industrial park going to create 50,000 new jobs for Selangor, even in Malaysia. So, but in which that we're going to have the central labor quarters, means hostel, 50,000 beds to solve all the problem, especially the ESG, especially the S, the social part. Later I'm going to show it to you. Of course, we have all these service, investment center, and also we have all the amenities. Okay, so talking about ESG, also very blur always. What is ESG? The bank saying that today if you are green, you are ESG, you can get the fund. But we really break into E as an environment, that what we are going to do in the industrial park, and the S, just as I said that the central labor quarters is part of the social to solve all these so-called the forced labor international issues, and also the governance. Being the managed industrial park, we have fulfilled the guideline as a governance, and also we have to appoint the appointed industrial park manager, in which Knight Frank is the industrial park manager, to work together with us. There could be experience, but with the smart elements, this will be another challenge in terms of the management solution. Okay, and this is Industrial 4.0. Have you ever looked at this diagram for Industrial 4.0? Anyone? If you have seen this, please raise your hand. Okay, so not many. That's why I like to be more practical rather than conceptual. We keep talking about Industry 4.0. What is that? These are the 9 key pillars. Today, I say we have AI, we have IoT, we have cloud, like just now Huawei was sharing. Huawei also one of our partner, Microsoft as well. Then we have autonomous robots, we have big data analytics, we have augmented reality, AR, and also we have additive manufacturing. So if you have a quick glance of these 9, this could be your next business, or you are already in this. Just share with you, based on FMN directory, we have 200 SME companies already doing this business. We are not talking about futures, right? So how I mooted this idea as an advisor to NSIP or NCT Smart Industrial Park, simply because I have attended the 3 days AI Big Conference back in 2017, in which that I met Jack Ma, WeChat boss, all the billionaires there. I really, sit down 3 days, I learned. There was only 2 Malaysian representatives there, I was one of them. Then I realized that AI is everything. AI is a start for Industry 4.0. So at that time when I authored a book, the sky is the AI limit, a lot of people are still very blurred, but today, really like this AI Unplugged conference, it means a lot. So this is the real thing now. And the whole industrial park, we are aiming for semicon, E&E, smart logistics and transportation, and anything to do with the 4IR inspired industry, which means that is Industry 4.0. Okay, so this is a quick glance of this industrial park, 3 phase, and this is a frontage, and also there will be a global center, like at the heart of it, everything inside is a smart solution. The little data center will be inside, AI control, AI security, at the guardhouse, and also the smart water solution, and also the smart solution for electricity management. And this is what I said, the whole heart will be here, is really to transform the whole industrial park in Malaysia. It's become the reference model by MIDA, as well as Invest Selangor. So this is very important in Selangor. And this is a CLQ, to house 30,000 beds for the labor, to solve the ESG, the S part, the social part, by using AI security to manage the in and out day-to-day management. So if you see there is a canal, it's a very smart way. This is the first canal in Malaysia that we are also applying for Malaysia Book of Record. That in Southeast Asia, maybe Vietnam, we have one in Vietnam, the other one in Korea. But this not only for decorative, but is this water detention pond, we change it into canal, in and out, from the frontage to the back is 3.5 kilometers, and then we have one big round, we can make it as a marathon track. So after 4 years, after first phase, we're going to organize the marathon, this competition to fulfill the ESG, the S part, part of the CSR. But it's a very smart things that we are really looking into the waste management system. That's why we turn the things into canal, a beautiful canal. So you can see it, it's just like a housing area. And so I'm going to skip this. I have been talking about the ESG part. And this is a fantastic that even I myself don't believe about it, Even I have mooted a lot of things inside. But this one, NCT Group, Dato Sri Yap was here this morning together with the ministers. We're going to raise from 4.8 meters ground level to become 5.1 meter to guarantee you 100 years flood-free. All right? Always we say, Feng Shui Master guarantee you 7 years, but NCT Industrial Park guarantee you 100 years flood-free. Because we are situated in this thunderstorm area that you spend multi-millions of this soil treatment. Okay, so these are some of the things that, the products of the industrial park. So if from semi-D, detached, and even for the land, 5 acres land, 1 piece. If you think not enough, it could be the second piece, the third piece, you can make it. This is very much designed for the semicon E&E and also EV industry. All right. So these are all the smart solution inside, okay? All the smart solution and AI. Then we work with the TM, Huawei, Microsoft, and many of the ESG system providers. Okay, so I think I will leave it back to, of course, these are all the government support. I leave it back to our moderator today for more discussion and interaction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Neil. So I think we have our next panelist, Mr. Hairol. Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. So, as per, I believe, a honor to be part of the NCT developments as a technology strategic partners to go together on this first ever smart industrial park in Malaysia to path the unique and also the most, I think, prestigious journey together. So as part of technology partner to NCTs, what we're trying to do is actually to ensure that with our capabilities today from the infrastructures and network, we will have to ensure the NCT will have the state-of-the-art technologies and also state-of-the-art telecommunication infrastructures to ensure the capabilities of integration is there, because that is one of the key importance for any smart, we call it as the smart elements. So when we start off this journey, I think a couple months back, I think since last year, I guess, right? So we think of, what will be the smart industry looks like? So when we benchmark with the other smart industries in the world, then we find a commonality is actually the words of integrated. So the challenge part of making an industrials to be integrated. So we have the two major components here. Number one, the public facilities within the smart industry itself. And number two, how do we ensure the investor or the company that join as part of the NCT families in the future will also enjoy and also can have the integrated facilities. So, because if we look at from the common way, most of the technology today and rest of the world, the major problem is actually they are in silos. So, NCT will be the one that will actually anchor the whole infrastructures and also technology AI that has been deployed later on to be centralized in a single command centers. And then from there, we can collect all the data and make use for a better decisions. Right.
Thank you. So we'd like to hear some insight from Professor Tan on Industrial 4.0.
Okay, thank you, the moderator. Okay, I think 6-7 years ago, when Malaysia first talked about, I think since 2016, right, talked about the Industry 4.0. And then during the 2016 to 17, 18, there are many events, right, they're organized by various agency and ministry and NGOs. I think the audience will give one of the very strong question about, hey, you want me to implement the Industry 4.0, then how about the connectivity? They talk about the internet connectivity at that time, right? They may complain and say, our infrastructure is not ready at that time. How are we going to implement and adopt the Industry 4.0, right? Then in the 2018, the launch of the National Policy on Industry 4.0. Since then until now, about 5 years. I think today we have seen that we have a very good so-called NCT Smart Industry Park. Actually, to close this kind of gap, right, to prepare the so-called very good infrastructure in terms of with a good partner from the TM to provide the company regarding the connectivity. Of course, today we have AI Unplugged. We talk about one of the technology enabling technology, which is AI. It's one of the pillars under the national policies on Industry 4.0. So I think this is the way forward. Okay, a good infrastructure, a good company that go into this industry park, and then also provided, like what Mr. Neo Fu say, provided the job opportunity to local, to Malaysian, right? To boost up the economy of the countries. I think with this kind of the collaboration and the approach, right, is very important. I think very crucial for us to have this more industry park in Malaysia. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Tan. I think we have seen a lot of industrial park in Malaysia. So, but for smart industrial park, this could be the very first in the region. So, I have a few questions for panelists. So, the first question I would like to address to Mr. Neo. What is the motivation behind this smart industrial park, and what is the concept that actually make it smart?
About this idea was mooted 2 years ago or 3 years ago, that NCT has a piece of land. So when Dr. Sri and I, as a friend, we talk about that. Being the property development in Malaysia, we have gone through many cycles. That we from blue ocean even to red ocean, that become a red race. So today, if we want to do industrial park, we really got to be a very unique position. Especially we have to put into the AI and put it into the smart. Rather than you sell a ringgit per piece, a ringgit per square feet, in which there is a typical transaction in Malaysia. I've been to Silicon Valley in USA last 2 years. I've been to China so many times that go to Suzhou Kongyuan Industrial Park, that we see that the contents is everything. Having the contents is not like, it's just a gimmick, but really we have to apply the applied technology like AI. That's why we have got the TM to come in to really help us. You see, maybe some of the experts as a property developers, that when you have the ideas architect, you draw a drawing, the next moment, you can come up with your things. But what I've seen for the last 2 to 3 years, when you say you can do smart, many people will raise their hand. If you can do AI, many people raise their hand. But really, for the industrial park or for a big building like this, can you help me to do all the necessary smart? Not even one company would look straight in your eyes. They will just turn it around. So after that, we have worked with the TM, because TM is infrastructure system provider, even up to the small scale application, especially when they have the 5G facilitation. That's why I myself come up with the name as, we give them the name as smart architect, right? In the property development we have architect, but we need a smart architect to really to sit down to think about it. Even property management company that they may manage the physical part, but when it comes to smart, in this region, even in Malaysia, I think we have to learn together. There is a whole inspiration behind.
Thank you. So my next question, I would like to ask Mr. Hairol, what does TM1 envision for the smart industrial park, and what are the elements to make it smart industrial park?
Thank you, Doctor. So basically, when we look at the smart industrial parks, as we mentioned earlier, it should encompass the integrations of advanced technology powered by AI, and what most important, it must be sustainable. So that is where the ESG element was brought in. So when we talk about the sustainability, this is the key factor to ensure that it's not just the technology, the park equipped with the best technology, but also it must be sustained. Otherwise, it's just meaningless. So that is one of our visions. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I think my next question will be going to Professor Tan. So I want to ask regarding industrial park, smart industrial park, in relevance to the manufacturing transformation in Malaysia and in this region. So, Professor Tan, may I have your advice or comments on this?
I think just now I already mentioned about that. Smart industry part is very important with the very complete infrastructure. And of course, another very important, I think this morning, I think YP Chang, or Mobility Minister, talk about the capacity building, very important. Also need to attract the right talent to come into the industry park to contribute. This is very crucial because with the infrastructure, the building, etc., you need a human. I think in the industry now, we all talk about not only Industry 4, Industry 5, and then Social 5.0. So you need to create a very the environment that can attract the good talent, right? Retain good talent in Malaysia to support the industry. I think this is something we can look into this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think before we conclude the session, so I would like to ask our panelists if we can share some advice, a short advice to all our
Perhaps I can add on to Prof.
Yeah.
Just about the talent. In our global center, on the third floor, we have 10,000 square feet of the 4IR Talent Center, in which that we're going to sign with 20 universities in Malaysia, and also the unlimited TVET colleges in Selangor, in order to help the 700 factories inside, to get talent, to upskilling and reskilling of the talent, especially towards a smart solution. Because we can have a huge industrial park like this, we can talk about future of Industry 4.0, unplug AI, but where are the talents? So far, we have talked to some of the potential investors that, of course, they are always look for incentive, tax exemption of the country, but the number one concern is where to get the talent. But talent is not only the blue collar, the foreign labor, but they really need the semi-skill and up. That's why we also put in our smart industrial park that can help the Malaysia to bring up the high value and high impact industry, so that our next generation can at least make the salary by 3 times, rather than we have a very low value industry that we can't pay even for the minimum wages. This is what I can add on.
Thank you. Hairol?
Maybe when we talk about this latest technology, AI, today we talk about the next things to happen, it's always come in our mind, is it expensive, right? This technology, The short answer to that, to me, no. Right. When we deploy these AI, smart solutions, 5G and so on, it always going back to a basic principle. Number one, sustainability, and how it can help to increase productivity, cost saving, and so on. So, considering all these elements, the mixture of it, then it will translate into what will be the right solutions that we will deploy in a certain environment or scenario. So maybe after this, please don't look at from one angle, but the AI is actually our future. AI will help us to improve the certain processes, the efficiencies, and also will help us to decide in a better way. Right.
Thank you. Yeah, Prof.
Yeah, for me, right, I think the AI equal to what? Money, dollar and cent. It's the most important, right? You use the right tool to create your company value, and of course to generate more money, lah. Okay, that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. I think thank you for our session, and hopefully this discussion have inspired you and give you some insights of the smart manufacturing in the near future. So if you have any questions, perhaps you can catch up with us during the networking lunch later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for enlightening us on the wonderful sharing. Thank you.